Alrighty, so it is now Monday, and my cup is on the turner, taped up with electrical tape, because that is what you want to use when using resin. It was fine to use a painter's tape for the Mod Podge, but for resin, it is tricky, and like spray paint, it could seep underneath it, so you generally don't want to use the use the painter's tape when doing the resin. So everything looks good. I sealed up. I left a tiny little gap where the Mod Podge was to the plastic of the cup rim. I'm doing that so it can get a good seal with the actual cup. Make sure that it seals all that. You don't want moisture to get in between there. It could make the epoxy lift up, and that's not something that you want, especially for drinkware. It just would be a mess. I've already got my epoxy ready. It is Art and Glow. I warmed it up in the sink first, mixed it up, and now I'm going to use my silicone spatula to put the epoxy on. This is going to be pretty much like a flood coat, and then I'm going to let it turn overnight. And what that's going to do is seal in all the glitter. Oops. Got a silicone mat underneath there just to catch drips, because there's inevitably going to be drips, because I made sure that this was nice and warm to mix properly, but it's extra drippy. And because I didn't brush the excess glitter off of this, it's going to mix in with the epoxy, which is fine. I'm not too worried about it. And hey, I'm wearing gloves. I should be wearing gloves anytime I work with resin, but I didn't until now. So this is my first time using this cup turner. I'm trying to make sure that it is even. Flood coats are hard because because the glitter kind of eats up the epoxy. Should have let this thicken up a little bit before I did this, but it's okay. This is why cup turners are good, the cup tisserie things, because it will keep the epoxy moving and it will minimize drips forming on your finished project. So I'm probably going to use my glove finger to smooth it along the edges by the seams. But yeah, just using this is going to make a smooth area for my decal to go on tomorrow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Because if I did this just over the glitter, if I put a decal straight over on the glitter, it wouldn't sit right. It would have lumps in it, visible lumps, and that would just not be good. Alright, what am I doing? No! I keep missing that one spot, and I'm spilling all my epoxy. It's driving me insane. So yeah, I can see where the silver of the cup is through the epoxy, or the glitter, which is fine, because I think it still looks good. But if that bothers you, that's why you would want to make sure that you painted a base coat on, spray paint or acrylic paint or something like that. But for me, it's fine, because the types of glitters that I used, they kind of cover up the silver. Just gonna reuse that because whatever, waste not, want not, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna... Yeah, so you might want to put a base coat of paint if you're doing this for yourself, but that really just depends on what you're looking for, the type of effect. So right here, I think that's where right before I mixed the two types of glitters. So I think that's why right there, there's more silver, because everywhere else, I don't notice the silver that much. It's only in that one spot. So this is definitely why you want the tape, because I'm going right up against the edge. And you're not going to want to wait until this is completely dry to pull this tape off, because that would be catastrophic. You want to wait until it's probably 45 minutes or so. Cured for about that long. That way, it's still tacky enough to pull off cleanly, but not too wet to really run. And it's hard to get a good even turn on this machine. Like I said, it's my first time using it, so oh, my cat is going crazy in the other room playing on my cat Loris's cat tree because it's her sweet 16 birthday today. She's snoozing on the bed after an exciting romp with her new tree. I got her one that has a little cubby house at the bottom because she's old and getting up in high places isn't exactly easy for her. So I have stairs everywhere. So I figure I get her one with a little cubby that she could kind of just nestle inside of. And Logan really wanted in on that business. So they were kind of having a spat over that. But now that she's sleeping on the bed, he's having fun. I've got resin on my hands. I could feel it. Ugh. Let me see. Yeah, so I do have a lot of resin left, so I'm probably going to just mix this up with something else. It was hard to measure small amounts like this, so I think that most people, when they make cups, they have other projects that they're working on at the same time. That way they're not using or wasting resin. But the measuring cups that I have aren't really for small things like this. Like I only mixed up, it was like 20 ml. So, I don't know. Alright, so let's see. So yeah, we'll probably let this run for about an hour or so, maybe a little longer, before I pull this tape off. And since I use thin glitter, I shouldn't have to fine glitter, I mean. I shouldn't have to sand this. I hope not, because I don't want to. Let's see. I'm gonna torch the air bubbles out of this after I'm done. So yeah, this might look rough after I put this on, but it's not gonna be that bad. I think because the epoxy's still really thin and runny, that it's going crazy, but it looks really nice. The glitter is really popping on this like crazy. Let's see. And this is just a trial cup, so if there's like big deals, like big issues, I guess it's not gonna be that much of a problem. I hope there isn't, because like I said earlier in the video, this is a gift. And I'm hoping it comes out good, so I could be like, hey, look what I did. I made this. So it looks like it's smoothing out. I just have to torch it. And I'm just gonna fill one of my nail practice stands with the resin. Probably mix some kind of pigment or something in it. Alright, it looks smooth. So now I'm gonna just hit it with the I should have a regular heat gun, but, well, a torch. I have like a heat gun for like embossing, but I don't really think that works that good for doing stuff like this. I mean, I think it works well for doing like water effects. So if you want to make like an ocean with the rapids, like the shoreline or whatever, with the alcohol inks, it does really well. With the heat gun, because it blows it. You don't want something that's really gonna have air blowing it. So this glitter is kind of munching on the resin. That looks really nice. I'm sure it'll look better like in the sun directly, but from the light coming from the window and the light coming from my actual lamp, the big flake glitter looks pretty fancy. Regardless, I'm going to be doing another coat of resin on this later on, aka tomorrow, but just want to make sure that I have this coated as much as possible. Lugan's going crazy in there. I don't know what he's playing with. I don't know if he's playing with the cat tree or if he's playing with one of his toys or what. I'll have to check up on him later. Curious. Now you could do this without, I don't know if I mentioned it, that you could do it without one of these cup turner things, but yeah, hell's no for me. Sitting there every couple minutes turning it manually? No, thank you. I would drop it, and that would be the end of it. It'd be out the window, because I just know that something stupid will happen. I would drop it, or I don't know, a couple go flying off. No thanks. I'll pass on that. Yep, so I don't see any glaring inconsistencies on this. I tried to make sure it was somewhat steady when I set it up before I started the video, but I want to make sure that it wasn't really off balance or whatever. It looks like it's pretty good. The resin's starting to self-level out, so I mean, I guess I could do a second coat before I put the decal on, but I don't really know if it's going to be necessary. This doesn't look that bad. It should be pretty okay. I don't know what this glitter is all about. Sit down, buddy. Keep bashing my head into my mic. Alright. So this looks alright. I was gonna cover it, but I don't really have anything that's tall enough to cover it without bashing into it, because I don't know. So I'm gonna have to just keep my fingers crossed that everything is good. Ooh, that looks so nice. The sparkles come through so very nice. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna put the decal right over here, where more of the background silver is showing through. A lot of where the silver is, it's shining through the larger iridescent glitter, this stuff. This stuff has, like I mentioned earlier, the snow, like the clear glitter, plus the iridescent larger glitter. And since I burnished it down and it's laying flat, the color is showing through the back. So yeah, you could definitely see the silver right there. So I'm just going to stick the decal there. I'm going to print one up on my Cricut tomorrow. And then we will see what I do from there. But I definitely think I'm going to coat that one area with the decal. And then epoxy the whole thing over again with the decal on there, and then I should be done. Hopefully. Yeah, this looks pretty good. So let me see, it's 1 o'clock now, so at 2 I guess I'll pull the tape off. Hopefully. And I'm just keeping an eye on this to make sure that, like, there's certain spots right there that are bothering me. But I don't know if, I'm not sure what's going on. Jeez, that was a big stretch, Loris. What the heck? I don't want it to, like, fisheye really, but I have sandpaper, but I don't know where the heck it is. And then this quarantine nonsense, I really don't feel like going out just to get sandpaper. And I don't really want to use the stuff that I had gotten for my car. I guess I could because it's probably wet dry, but I don't know. I'd rather not. I guess this is as good as I'm going to get for today. It's just going to be how it is. Alrighty, so I'm going to cut for now, and then I'll be back tomorrow. And we'll see how this dried up, or cured. Let's see how it cures up, and then get the decal on there and throw on the last coat, and then we'll see the end product in a couple days. Well, not for you, but alrighty.